Everyone, remain calm.
Yeah, that's how it always starts. And later there's running and screaming.
Somebody talk to me! What is happening?
Welcome to Jurassic World.
You're listening to the Jurassic Park Podcast.
You want to consult here or in my bungalow? Hold on to your butts.
Well, we're back.
Hello, and welcome to the 42nd episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Jost, and we are here to discuss all things Jurassic Park. In this episode, we've got a bit of news, and I'll also tell you all about my trip up to New York to see the ILM 40 Years of Movie Magic, the past, present, and future of Industrial Light and Magic presentation. I'll be joined by Dan Caron today in Site B, who also stopped by the ILM event with me. It was a great experience, and we can't wait to share it with you. But before all that, let's start things off with a bit of Jurassic news from around the world.
18 minutes and your company catches up on 10 years of research.
Access main program. Access new security.
These pictures were taken in hospital in Costa Rica 48 hours ago.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but look.
Boy, I hate being right all the time.
For today, I guarantee it.
Are you ready to visit a dinosaur theme park? Well, on March 25th in Bangkok, Thailand, you can visit Dinosaur Planet, a new dinosaur theme park. I'll read a little bit from the article on nationmultimedia.com. Visitors can get to know dinosaurs at Dinosaur District, have fun in the only dino eye in the world, travel back in time at Stars of Dino, explore the bottom of the ocean at 4D Deep World, enjoy exciting shows at the Great Volcano, get their adrenaline pumping at Raptor Extreme, ride a dinosaur at Dino Farm, and dine and shop at Dino Square. So this sounds like a pretty awesome park, even though I can't attest to the quality of the theme park itself. They have been toting a T-Rex in the back of a truck around Thailand to promote the new park. And that thing looked pretty awesome. So hopefully we get to see more once this park opens up at the end of the month. And I'll make sure to post a link to the article and the park website in the show notes. B.D. Wong has been out promoting his appearance on Fox's Gotham, talking about his character Hugo Strange. He goes into how Strange relates closely to Dr. Wu, so let me read you a bit of his quote here. I think of him a lot in the same way I think of the character I played in Jurassic World. This is a person who's on an A-list of science. He's really pushing the envelope of technologies, making things happen that no one else can do. As a result, he's in a way full of himself, or really unaware and blind to his consequences. So my first impression is that he's amazingly gifted, and secondly, that he's blind to the consequences of what he's doing. His personal goals are just the scientist's goals, learning about the human psyche, learning about life, trying to manipulate it, change it, alter it, and being extremely satisfied when something works. So I can definitely see the parallels here between his character. He definitely likes to alter things and change things when it comes to dinosaurs. But can we trust BD's instincts when it comes to Dr. Wu? Or is he just too blind to see the consequences as well? You can find a link to the article in the show notes. The MTV Movie Award nominees have been announced. Now, if MTV Award shows are the kind of thing that you're into, you have more to look forward to. Jurassic World has been nominated in 3 different categories. It's up for Movie of the Year, and Chris Pratt is up for Best Male Performance and Best Action Performance. Yet again, Bryce was skipped over for an award, and also the final battle between the Indominus and the Rex was somehow missed for Best Fight. That really boggles my mind. Make sure to head over to the link in the show notes to vote for Chris and Jurassic World at the MTV Movie Awards. Researchers will finally get the chance to study the impact zone of the crater that killed off the dinosaurs. These scientists plan to drill into the crater sediments to see how life bounced back. Starting in April, they will continue the project for about 2 months. Now, there's a ton of information in the article on CNN.com, so why don't you find the link within our show notes to learn much, much more than I can give you.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Thank God for Site B.
Site B?
Yes, Site B.
No force on earth or heaven could get me on that island.
Site B, don't worry. I'm not making the same mistakes again.
Okay, so there's another island with dinosaurs, no fences.
Site B.
And you want to send people in?
Yes.
A very few people.
Yes.
It's not a research expedition anymore. It's a rescue operation, and it's leaving right now.
You cannot land on this island.
This is Isla Sorna. Site B.
Yes.
We're on Isla Sorna, and we need to talk to the boat.
Site B.
No, the lady. Enough. Wrong frequency.
All right, so we're here in New York City. I'm here with Dan Caron. We just got out of the ILM 40 Years of Movie Magic, the past, present, and future of Industrial Light and Magic presentation. I actually won a ticket from Star Wars News Net. I found this little contest they were running. Sorry, if we're on the streets of New York right now, essentially, sitting at a table. So you'll have to not care about the background sound at the moment. But so anyway, I won a ticket to this event and traveled up to New York City, and I mentioned it to one of my podcast mates here, Dan Caron, and he decided to join me. So did you enjoy this thing?
I did, Brad. I did. It was nice getting out and seeing some new things.
Yeah, we had zero idea what to expect when it came to this presentation. So when we went in kind of blind, and we knew that there was going to be 3 guys, Dave Fogler, Michael Copperwas, I'm not sure how to say that name, and Jason Smith, all guys who work with ILM. And yeah, it was a really cool presentation, but it was actually on the short side. It was only an hour long. It was really, really surprising.
It was a little short.
I thought for sure that there would be like a Q&A or something like that at the end, but there wasn't. It was just a little presentation, like some PowerPoints and stuff like that.
Yeah, they essentially went through some of the history and modern work that ILM has been working on over the years, and yeah, it seems like there's still a power player in the visual space.
Yeah. So. It's crazy actually. Like when they started the thing. They ran through this montage of the movies that they've worked on, and when you watch that, man, like it's hard to believe they actually worked on everything.
Every movie
I've
ever seen was in that trailer.
It was out of control. Like things you didn't even realize that they worked on. They were there, and they had their hands all over it. So that was really cool. They did this montage for a few minutes, right? But that wasn't much. It just kind of showed the highlights of what they've done.
But the fact that we don't know all of their work is kind of.
It's some of the stuff was surprising.
It was surprising
because you think like Lucasfilm and you think Jurassic Park and stuff like this, but you don't think of all the other works that they've done. And it was really cool to see some of that stuff. Obviously, we went here expecting Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, but unfortunately, we didn't get any.
We only got
None.
a taste.
Yeah, we actually got, in that highlight clip, there was a few clips of Jurassic World, some breakdowns in that clip of how they made something, but they didn't talk about it. It was just a highlight. So pretty much things that we've already seen on the DVD, really.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any Jurassic Park.
Original Jurassic Park?
No.
I don't believe so.
No, I don't think there was anything else aside from Jurassic World. So it was really disappointing in that aspect. And the fact that it was only an hour really shocked me. I thought it would be a little bit longer, maybe 2 hours, maybe a Q&A or something, like I said.
Yeah.
But, so we did get some good content when it comes to Star Wars. So they showed us essentially what went into making the new Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, it seems like it was a pretty long process to kind of get that down.
Well, because there's so many different versions of it. Like, the dinosaurs in Jurassic World, they modeled them off of different ones, and there's I think they said there was a few different models from the old movies, and they had to kind of combine everything.
And they were all different scales as well, so they were working with different models that made it difficult to now make a new one and create that for the newest movie.
Yeah, well, they just talked about how much effort went into making all those choices, and that went on 100,000 times for other portions of making the new Star Wars movie. So that was really cool to hear. What was the second thing was a presentation by Jason Smith, who's a visual effects supervisor for ILM. And he talked about Transformers,
Avengers.
Yeah, Avengers, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Is that the second one?
Chest,
Dead Man's Chest. Yeah, I'm sorry. Dead Men Tell No Tales. That's the new. That's the new one that's coming out next year. I wish they talked about that one. No, but they had Dead Man's Chest, and there was another one, The Revenant. Yeah. So they cut The Revenant short. Really, it was just kind of like a real quick process as to what it went into making that bear scene, which I didn't see the movie, but I've heard a ton about this bear sequence.
I've heard a lot about it,
and it looked really brutal from what they showed.
But they really went into the process it takes to really make these things, these effects look as real as possible. Everything from the movement of the Transformers transforming from a truck to what we know as Optimus Prime.
Yeah, that was really cool because they showed basically, I know that a robot doesn't have a muscle structure, but they showed how they have to move the arm and animate the arms, and also the entire transformation process from car to robot, which was insane. I don't physically, I don't know how they did that.
I don't know. They did walk us through a few different
animating each piece of that robot for the transformation process. It's really crazy.
It seems like it's a crazy, complicated process.
Yeah.
Even from what we saw, it was a few tiny movements, and it looked like it was pretty time consuming.
Yeah, and they said that's a lot of the same technology now that they're using with the Iron Man movies, the Avengers movies, all with Tony Stark's suit and more, even more. So it's cool to see it still in use, that sort of tool that they're using. What was the other one? Pirates of the Caribbean. That was pretty cool. Basically just showed Davy Jones and
motion capture.
Yeah, motion capture, and a bit of the tentacles and stuff that were all over his face. Showed how they made that movement, how they correlated it to the actual actors' movements. So that was cool.
And the physics behind the movements, the springing of the different tentacles.
How they stick to each other. That was really cool. And was there any other movies there? Was that the 4?
The last one was The Revenant, which I think
we covered that a little bit.
Relate the most to Jurassic World, because they really went into the not only the bone structure, but
musculature,
the muscular structure.
Yeah, it was really cool. This was the portion where Jurassic World really would have shined,
I think so too.
Showing the muscle structure of the dinosaurs and the movements and
the different layers from the skin to this and that. It was really incredible. It seems like there's so much that goes into it.
It would have been the perfect spot. I'm so shocked after the performance of Jurassic World and how amazing it was that they decided to skip over it.
Yeah, it's really it was disappointing, but I'm glad we did see what we saw. Because,
I'm very happy we got to see those attributes for those 4 movies. And it was great. I love the 3 of those. I haven't seen The Revenant, like I said, but those other 3, I love those ones. So it's cool to see things that we didn't get to see on a DVD. It was definitely things that are outside the scope of regular production, highlights and different things that you've seen before. So that was really cool. And it wrapped up with the ILM X Lab, which Jurassic World fans should know about because they recently did the Jurassic World VR experience, where you have the Apatosaurus and the Jeep, the old Jeep, and the Apatosaurus wakes up and basically goes straight at your face and kind of does a few movements and everything. So unfortunately, they didn't talk about that either. They mostly focused on Star Wars and how the X-Lab is basically pushing the envelope for the future.
Exactly. It shows the direction that the company is moving, or at least that division of the company is moving.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can see more content for Jurassic World in the future.
Well, one of the things I was so excited when they started to talk about it. Actually, they showed some of the concept art of the new Star Wars land.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, here we go. Here's some stuff we haven't heard before. And no, he just said, like, that's some cool looking artwork. Like, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
There was no like substance to that. He just said that they're trying. Actually, I mean, I guess it was kind of cool. They said that they're going to use this VR experience with ILM X Labs in the park somehow.
I think it's in order to model the park and show.
Was it? I don't know. I got the feeling that he said it's going to be used somehow within the parks. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
At least I don't know, but so it's kind of cool to hear that at least. But they basically talked about how augmented reality and VR experiences are basically the future of gaming, of movies, of everything, really.
Visual effects in general,
and they showed some really cool stuff, like the augmented reality stuff was really cool. They showed this little clip of C-3PO sitting on your couch at home. That was awesome. You're kind of like hold up your iPad and on your iPad, it's basically a viewfinder, and on your iPad, I guess you have the camera running through this app, I would assume, and you basically get to see C-3PO in front of you through the app. So that was really cool. He basically just talked about like what the human eye sees, like frames per second and stuff like that, and how this is going to be used in the future,
and how it's at its infancy right now, and is poised to grow to. He made the comparison between cell phones, what they were back in the 80s compared to what they are now. They've grown exponentially over that time, and VR and augmented reality are kind of in that same group.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we were talking about this on the walk over to this restaurant here, like how it's just not there yet. You need that tactile feedback when it comes to like a VR experience or augmented reality to kind of feel what's going on in front of you. The lens or the vision is right in front of your face, but you're not getting that feeling. You're not moving really. You're just kind of circling around or moving your arms, but nothing of substance is happening in that real space. So
it seems like right now we're kind of in that test phase.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. They showed like that funny video you've seen floating around the internet of the guy like with the VR, like basically a helmet on his face, and his, I guess, a girlfriend is like looking at him, filming him, like, what in the world is he doing right now?
Yeah.
Moving his hands around, and he didn't actually explain what he was doing, did he?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
It was pretty weird looking, but yeah, I think that really summed it up. They actually cut it off right at that point. Like, it's really starting to get interesting with this whole VR thing, and then they cut it off. And they're like, that's about it. That's all we have. That's all the time we have. I find it hard to believe that a venue in New York City is like, oh, that's it. That's all we got for you. An hour today.
Yeah, it was a little short, but nonetheless, it was some really good content. I saw a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have seen.
Oh yeah.
Anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it seems like you got a small peek into this crazy company that's grown so much over the past 40 years.
Yeah, since its inception, like Star Wars and everything, how far it's come since using models, and now with the computer, animations and everything.
Yeah.
It's just so incredible to see it grow in the past 40 years. Oh, and one more thing, actually, that's the way they presented it to us before they cut it off. They did show the new Captain America Civil War trailer with... I don't know if I should say that, so I'll cut that out. If you hear that skip right there, that's because I may have spoiled something. Just in case you
just throw a roar over it.
Yeah, I'll roar. Yeah, I'll bleep that out anyway. So yeah, I won't spoil that. But they showed the new Captain America trailer, and it debuted actually today as of recording it online. So it wasn't anything new if you've already watched the trailer. I myself don't watch trailers because I feel like they've spoiled too much recently for me. So I kind of like to go in clean, fresh, fresh eyes when it comes to viewing this stuff on the screen in the theater for the first time. So when that came on, I was like, oh no, I got to close my eyes. And I sat there. This is what I did. It may be embarrassing on my behalf, but I hummed Chasing the Dragon from Jurassic World. Chasing the Dragons, I think it's plural. But the track where Chris Pratt's riding his motorcycle through the forest with the raptors, I hummed that in my head because it was loud, and nobody else, I don't think, could hear me. I'm sitting there humming it, trying to block out the sound because I don't like to hear the audio either. And,
I watched the whole thing.
I closed my eyes. Oh, I'm sure it was awesome. But
it was awesome. That's
part of the problem. I just don't want to be spoiled or sullied when I go to see the movie for the first time.
Yeah.
But I have to say it was really fun. It was fun coming up here to New York, getting to see the city. I haven't been here for a few months now, so it's been a while. So it's nice to come back here, tour around a little bit, and go to a new venue. So that was cool, and to see all this stuff from ILM. Even though we didn't get to see anything from Jurassic World or Jurassic Park, that was disappointing, but this was an awesome experience nonetheless, so I had a good time.
Yeah, I did too. It was great.
Yeah, and definitely thank you to Star Wars News Net for, putting that contest up there, allowing me to, or choosing me to come, and giving me the ticket, so that was really awesome, and also, obviously, thanks to you for deciding to buy a $15 ticket.
Yeah, luckily it was $15.
Yeah, there was a $45 ticket or so.
It was about $45.
So you're probably better off that you didn't buy that for a 1 hour experience. Even though you're close to here, it didn't really take much for you to come out here.
No, it was a good experience. I had a lot of fun with it. And it was cool seeing a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have seen otherwise. So,
yeah. It's always nice to just get out and see something new. So.
Exactly.
Hopefully this was somewhat informational. Probably doesn't matter too much to you, but we thought it was fun, so we figured we'd present it here. We were hoping for some more Jurassic Park stuff, but not today.
Maybe next time.
Thanks for listening to the 42nd episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. I'd like to thank StarWarsNewsNet.com for the ticket to the event, and also thanks to Dan Caron for joining me at the presentation and discussing it afterwards. Stay tuned for episode 43 next week, when Michael Pierce from the Jurassic World 3D Project joins us in the Visitor Center. It was a great interview, so you'll definitely want to hear it. If you want to interact with us, we do most of our work over on Twitter, at Jurassic Park Pod. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/Jurassic Park Podcast, and our Instagram handle is at Jurassic Park Podcast. You can listen to us via iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Podomatic, and YouTube, or really wherever else podcasts are found. So make sure to subscribe to automatically get new episodes every week. If you haven't already, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes or a great review wherever you listen to the podcast. It will seriously help our rankings and make it easier for fans like you to find us. We're usually spotted commenting on the Jurassic Park subreddit as Jurassic Park Podcast. Don't forget to check out our show notes for all of the links. If you want to get a hold of us, you can email us with any news stories, MP3s, segment ideas, pictures, top 10s, or comments to JurassicParkPod@gmail.com. If you'd like to record something for the show, send it in to us and we'll feature it in an upcoming episode. If you don't have any way to record, you can give our voicemail a call and leave us a message, or you can even text us now. That number is 732-825-7763. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
Drop what you're doing and leave now.